This is John from Tabletop Narrative, and I was fortunate enough to go to this year's LVO, and I attended the narrative event. I went to it last year, had a ton of fun, figured I would go again, and two of my friends came with me. So we drove down to Vegas. Once we got there, got our hotel room and everything, we actually set up a little kill team in the room, which was pretty fun. Had a chance to relax and see all the crazy lights now that are in Vegas. So one of the things that I really love about Vegas is going around and seeing all the armies and everything like that, all the conversions. This is one example of an orc army that was playing in the narrative event. It's a pirate-themed orc army. Absolutely amazing. The conversion work and everything that was put into it was just absolutely astonishing. And what you'll see here in a moment is I think this was a Morkanaut or a Gorkanaut or something, and it literally has a lighthouse that goes in and out like normally what a lighthouse would do. Amazing. So there's a bunch of other armies that I take pictures of as just kind of you walk around. This is a cool one, fighting demons. It's I think that was Grey Knights. There's a bunch of AOS armies that I think the AOS, they do it right. Most of their armies are really top notch, very well painted, awesome display boards. This was some example of some great conversion work. It was a Admech army that was kind of Nurglified. And then what you'll see here is just, armies maybe I've never seen, or these are new, and it's like this display board was top notch and just how everything sat in there and how it looked. So really one of the highlights and kind of one of the inspiration is the armies as you walk around and what you see there. So highly recommend somebody to go to check it out. So explain a little bit about what the narrative event is. And this particular year, what you did is you signed up for a particular household on a planet that is basically classified as a pleasure world. And on that planet, there was different households that held certain sway over certain areas. And they were basically acquiring mercenaries to kind of fight their wars for them against other households. So what you do is you would sign up for different households. If you went with people like your friends, usually you kind of try to sign up together so you could play games together. And that's what it was. This was a little bit different this year because it allowed armies, like I was bringing my Chaos, my World Eaters and Khorne, and it allowed me to maybe pair up with Imperial Knights or to pair up with, other stuff that we normally wouldn't do. So, and there's a little bit of a backstory and stuff like that with it. So it made a little bit of sense and made for some really unique games and some pairings and stuff that you wouldn't quite see that often. Because at the LVO, all games are basically team games. And in this year, we played power level. There was either 50, 75, or 100. So for my first game, I was paired up with a gentleman named Sean. He was playing Nurgle. And we were playing against Tyranids and Tau, and this was the mission. So it was kind of like a modified kill point mission that was based on your power level. So it was not very great for us. And this was my first game. I had painted up all these Mauler Fiends, and even though they're not great, I wanted to kind of bring them, see what they would do. And versus a gunline Tau army backed with Biovores and, 60 to 90 gaunts, just being able to get there. It was a shooting festival. I mean, he basically just shot us as we kind of moved down the board to try to get in there to do stuff. So, unfortunately, it was a loss for us, but these guys were great opponents, super nice. That's the thing about the narrative event is it's very relaxed and there's great people and it is a lot of fun. And so even though we did not win this one, we lost it pretty heavily. it was still a lot of fun. And the keynote to my Demon Prince, which is my warlord for the same time, basically was alive on this one, so he did not die. But you can kind of see in this picture too, Biovores with Tau backed up. I mean, he was dropping spore mines, preventing us from charging and all that type of stuff. So that combo, that Tyranid and Tau combo, was really strong. And I think that they did fairly well at the event. So game 2, I paired up with one of my friends that I went down. He was playing his Imperial Knights army. I think it was House Tyranids, I believe, the Admech one. This was the mission that we played. And so you can kind of see that center thing. There was a couple stratagems. So these were all unique missions where, but if you had a unit in there, you could do mortal wounds to them or do stuff like that. I ended up throwing my cultists in there, just figuring, hey, if we can get these bonus points, because that's really what they were, as soon and often, then we might have a way to win this. We were playing against Knights, I want to say House Crass, and a Deathwatch army. So both great armies, super good guys. This was actually a really great game. I ended up not bringing my Mauler Fiends because of just my last experience. So I brought more of my Berserkers and my Helldrakes and stuff like that with it. And there was a lot of death and destruction in this game for sure. I think you had 3 or 4 knights and the Castellan and just the Gallant charging in. So, but we ended up holding our own. And so we won in the end, I only think by maybe a couple points. And so it was luckily that we were getting those bonus points early on for that center kind of circle. And then it was my Demon Prince was the only model left alive for us to save us on points. So that was, once again, he lived. He basically won the game for us. So, and he was my warlord for that. So on day 2, we were all told to either pledge our allegiance towards Chaos or Imperial. So that will come up later. And this game here, so this was a hard one. This is kind of, I think they call it the warehouse mission, where you have these different bunkers that you have to go pick up some resources. Then you have to go take them to your drop-off point. And it's all based on your wounds and what your wounds you have left too. So I was playing my Khorne army. We were playing against and I was playing with my friend that brought Genestealers. We were playing against the Narrative guys. I think they're out of Dallas. Super nice guys, great opponents. They're all playing Iron Warriors. And they were nice enough to allow me to bring my knight just as a friendly game. It's my first chance to kind of bring them in the event. And they had a shooty army. We really did not. The only way to win was kind of to basically not use my charge, my Mauler Fiends and all that type of stuff, and try to use them to basically transport resources. So, and with them being able to shoot and having a ton of rhinos and things like that, they very easily whooped us on that. But there were some really highlights of the events. Some of the things as the house is there was a campaign map and we were playing for certain sectors. And if we won, we would get these bonus abilities that we can use. And so one of our thing that we had was like we could automatically pass a morale once per game. We could choose a unit to fight automatically first, regardless of charges. And then there was another one we got where you can make like a character fight again. And so one of the cool things with this is one of the Iron Warriors guys had Berserkers got out, or actually I think it was the Genestealers showed up, tried to assault, couldn't. The Berserkers came in, went to assault the Genestealers. We played that special kind of house stratagem, and we're able to attack first. So we cleared them out, then assaulted the other one. So that was really a lot of fun and very tactical. But in the end, it didn't really make too much of a difference. The only thing that did happen is my Demon Prince once again lived, was the last model alive. It did not die. And so that was starting to become a theme. So that was very fun right there. So this is the fourth game, and I was paired up with a guy named Jim that that I met the year before. He's from Maryland, and like two of his buddies come out too. So we've kind of kept in contact through Facebook and stuff throughout the year. So it was great. He was on our house. The one thing that was interesting, I was trying to convince him to go to Chaos, even though he was playing Astra Militarum. He didn't. And in this mission, we ended up winning, but we had to roll off to see who would win. So what was starting to happen with the narrative is if you were on Chaos's side, you would, win for Chaos. If you're on Imperial's side, you would win for Imperial. So in this game, we were playing against Admech with Knights, and the guy wanted to bring his Knights because he had it. We totally allowed him, which was great. And they were playing against Tyranids, and it was this gal, I want to say her name is Mandy. Super excited, new to the game. Her mom was there, like they were laughing, and as things were happening, they were all super excited. Her boyfriend, I believe, was in the championship game. So it was just really cool to see people, like new people in the hobby, and girls in the hobby, and it was just a really good game, and great, a lot of fun. It was kind of a maelstrom style mission that we did, and one of the tactics to kind of help us win was using a lot of stratagems to draw extra maelstrom cards. So this is Jim right here. So.
Boom, 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 boom.
Classic. So once again, my warlord lived. So once again, a theme. He did not die yet, and pretty much he doesn't die the whole event. But this is one of the highlights that happened. Is my Khorne Demon Prince with the Skull Reaver axe dropped down, assaulted his knight. The knight, I think, had only lost a couple wounds before, but basically one shot with his axe. He even has an invulnerable save against it, and he failed those. So, I mean, a miracle, but really a highlight just to show that guy can take out a Forge World Knight. So, okay, so this is the final game, and what ended up happening on the last day, it's kind of like a mini apocalypse games that they do, and because we separated for like Chaos and Imperials, we were doing is it started to become houses divided. So what this final game was, actually, we were in the same house, so we were all kind of teammates, but it was all the loyalists on one side and then all the people that were for Chaos on the other. So it was myself and two of my friends that I went with, so Genestealer, Colts, and Knights, and then we teamed up with the Orc guy that had that great Orc army, and then we played against Harlequins, Tau, Eldar, and Grey Knights. And the idea was each table was set with these two pylons. So there were basically two 4x6 tables side by side. And in the center of the pylons, you could control them. And it was the player that controlled them would basically write secretly what they wanted the energy level to be of the pylon. So if they wanted to go up or they wanted to go down, if it got too high, there's potential that it could blow up, or even the world could blow up. If they're too low, then maybe they saved the planet and it could be worthy, and it wouldn't turn to chaos. So that was very interesting too, because you didn't know like if somebody was secretly writing down, or even if they're a loyalist, maybe they wanted it to blow up or not. So, and that was going on every table there. So we ended up, I think, getting controlling two pylons, or maybe we only got one. But so they got a little bit more. In the end, they clearly kind of won. It was some great play by the Harlequin player, and a lot of fun. My Khorne Demon Prince with the Skull Reaver axe killed a Storm Surge. I had to basically, though, use everything I got. I had to use our special stratagem to have a character fight twice. I had to do all this type of stuff. So, but that's two big titans that he killed in this thing. So for me, that was a win. And then we it was a fun overall game. I think in this game in particular, you kind of start to see, because one of the tables was that Necron one, and it had a lot of buildings, and you can kind of see how hiding in the buildings with the LVO rules of the enclosed ruins really makes a big difference. So there's one of the pylons, by the way, that we were trying to hold. But overall, great game, great match. It was good to play against our teammates that I haven't had a chance to interact with. So that was a lot of fun. And in the end, you'll see, but it was kind of like a quasi win per se. So there is also a final table, by the way. So like they would pick four groups and they kind of play on this themed, very narrative. They have terrain and stuff there too. And I believe that it was, the story behind that was that there was a drill that they were trying to incorporate into, like either drill into the Earth's core to blow it up with this energy, or you had a chance to maybe save it and turn it off. So like there's a drill. So that was going on one particular table, and then all the rest of them were the pylons. In the end, I think everybody kind of wanted the world to blow up. And so that's basically what had happened. Is I think all the pylons were just increasing in energy and energy and energy. And so chaos took over. Whoever won on this table decided to push the button so that the drill went into the earth too. And it basically annihilated everything. So lots of fun though. One of the things I always like to keep an eye on too and walk around is like the championship hall. So see all those games going. I mean, I believe there was 670 people, and to see that many people in there and the amount of terrain and how it all ran was really masterful, I would say, for frontline gaming. So really great. You got a chance to watch the final event. It's kind of, you can't really get too close, obviously, but it was very tense, and you can kind of, everybody was on edge, and there was a lot of people sitting there watching, which was very exciting. And then, of course, we stayed around bit for the rewards, and you got to see like the painting and best in faction and all sorts of stuff. So I think that's one of my favorite parts of it. But overall, great experience at the LVO, and I would highly recommend that you go if you can. So thank you very much.